of the Rays of Hope program. And today we're happy because we are in the context of the Women's Guild Week. It comes once in a year and granted by the Presbyterian Church of East Africa for us to celebrate women, the ministry of women in the Presbyterian Church of East Africa and even beyond. And by extension, to celebrate the good work that even families are doing and people are doing out there. We're so happy that you could join us today. I'm Lucy Waweru, your host today. And the theme of the Women's Guild is You Are My Witnesses. And today we want to talk about witnessing Christ in service. Witnessing Christ in service. Now, in studio today, I am so very honored to host these two wonderful ladies who also happen to be educationists. They are educationists and they are doing a lot of good work witnessing Christ in their spheres of influence. On my immediate right is Madam Virginia Gitonga, the principal of Alliance Girls High School. Did you hear that? Alliance Girls High School. And we are very, very to have you here.
Thank you.
Please say hi to the viewer.
Hello, viewers. My name, as we've been told, is Virginia Muthoni Gitonga. First, I'm born again. I love the Lord Jesus Christ as my personal Savior. He's also my friend. I am the principal of that great school we have had, Alliance Girls High School. And I fellowship with the girls on Sundays and any other time we have our service. I come from Chogoria Central Parish. I worship at Mugan PCA Church. And I'm a very proud member of the Women Guild. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much. And we're very, very happy to have you here. We're excited about, today's program. Karibu sana.
Asante.
On my extreme right is Dr. Jane Gatua, coming to us also from the Ministry of Education, Quality Assurance. We'll hear more later about what that is about. And she also comes to us from a Syrian parish. She is a church elder. Please say hello to the viewers.
Wow. Thank you, Reverend Lucy. Hello, viewers. My name, as it has been said, I'm Jane Gatua. I love the Lord as my personal Savior. I have blessed assurance that Jesus is mine. I serve as a church elder in Kajiado Presbytery, a Syrian parish, specifically the congregation of Nikoroi PCA Church, where we have Reverend Changari, and I say hi to you, Reverend, even for giving me this opportunity to be here, even when we were having the session meeting. Thank you, the chairman of PCA Nikoroi Church, Mr. Kangeve, for the opportunity, and all the Women Guild of a Syrian parish. You are doing great work. I take this opportunity also to wish you all the best as we serve the Lord during this week. And also the Women's Guild of Kamoyo Band Forest, where I was born. We are proud of you and we love you. We wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much and karibu sana. And a big shout out to the Director of Women's Guild, Reverend Elizabeth Kimani. Thank you for the good work. Big shout out to all the women and girls in this wonderful fellowship and ministry, and indeed all the women in the Presbyterian Church of East Africa. This is a wonderful week and we celebrate you all. Here we are, and I said we are talking about witnessing Christ in service, in the different spheres of influence that the Lord has given us. We want to hear a little about what you do in your spheres of influence as you continue serving Christ and witnessing for Christ in those areas. We can start with you, Madam Gitonga.
Thank you again.
Yeah.
I serve at Alliance Girls High School as the principal. And my day starts very early in the morning because I have 1,943 children who call me Mama or Mother. And when I wake up, the first thing is we check whether they have taken their breakfast. whether they have cleaned their areas of residence. We also check the preps, and we follow up throughout the day to see that they are properly taught. So I do a lot of curriculum implementation. I also have teachers, almost 100 teachers, and they are also my friends. We relate very well, we coordinate to see that the child who has been entrusted to us leaves Alliance Girls as a lady who can influence the world in all spheres. Then I also have non-teaching staff who support the teaching staff to ensure that we achieve our goals as a school. And of course, I generally run day-to-day issues of the school on behalf of the Board of Management. Occasionally, we have meetings with the parents. We have meetings with the Board of Management because you can't administrate such a school alone. So we work as a team with those stakeholders. Thank you.
Wow. Did you say 1,900 and something girls?
Yes,
I mean,
madam.
1 or 2 girls is enough work, like teenage girls.
Yes.
And you're dealing with 1,900. Surely the grace of God is sufficient.
The grace is sufficient, very sufficient. And then there's a lot of teamwork.
Wow. And
So
so,
it's,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
it's very easy because of the teamwork.
Yes.
Everyone knows what they are supposed to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then plus the pressure to, to perform, because you're not just any other school.
Yes.
You're Alliance Girls.
Yes.
Fine, they're teenage girls,
Yes.
but they're also at the top,
Yes.
at the limelight.
Yes.
And we want to see that performance. I mean, we thank God for you.
Amen.
And we celebrate you
Amen.
so very much.
Amen.
Dr. Jane Gatua.
Wow,
Yes.
thank you so much even to hear what my colleague does at the school level. My service is in various places. I serve in at various capacities. As a mother, I have children to take care of and a family to take care of, and I do not neglect any one of them. I also serve as a church elder, which is quite an involving role, because we have to balance. We don't have to wait until when we retire so that we can go and serve God. So I have been in that service long enough, and I'm able to juggle between all those duties. And I thank God even for Orerai district members. They have always understood me, and we have walked the journey together, and we have seen what God does. And my other service is in the Ministry of Education, as I had earlier said, where I work as a quality assurance and standards officer at the national office. Our work is quite enormous because we are tasked by the Basic Education Act 2013 to ensure standards in all basic education learning institutions, whereby we look at how the standards of education have been adhered to, the set policies and guidelines regarding our children in school, all geared towards implementing or rather providing quality education in line with the Sustainable Development Goals, which are global, in line with our Constitution, in line with the Vision 2030, and even the Agenda 4, the Big 4 agendas. So we are there all the time, and all the schools, may they be public or private, we are mandated to ensure that that one is taking place. And therefore, that is what we do on the daily basis. We also work hand in hand with the semi-autonomous government agencies in the area of education. That is like KICD. They are in charge of curriculum development. We find ourselves doing a lot of work with them to ensure that the learning materials that go to our schools meet the standards. We also work with the Kenya National Examination Council. We work with the Teacher Service Commission. We even work with the SEMASTER, with the Kenya Institutes of Special Education, all those semi-autonomous government agencies. And of course, we work with other partners who help the Kenyan child. It is much that we do. we cannot finish narrating what we do in this particular show, but we thank God He gives us strength. Thank you.
Wow, you also need a lot of grace there. and I can hear you. I mean, you deal with so many partners, so many other government agencies and all that, commissions and everything.
Yes.
I think that one needs a whole program to unpack, and to see how it goes. And we celebrate you, and that's why this week we are celebrating women in the different sectors of service. Yeah. And we really want to see how your faith, how your service, even in the Woman's Guild, actually impacts on, even your work ethos and all that. But first of all, let's go back to the theme of the week. The theme of the week, this is the Woman's Guild week, as we had told you, dear viewer. And the theme of the week, there's a theme that guides the activities of the week, and indeed guides the activities of the Women's Guild the rest of the year until the next time we come back, to this week. And the theme is taken from Isaiah 43, verse 10, which says, "You are my witnesses, declares the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, so that you may know and believe me and understand that I am He." I'll also read in Swahili. Mstari wa mkazo, Isaya 43 mstari wa 10, inasema hivi: "Ninyi ni mashahidi wangu, asema Bwana, na mtumishi niliyemchagua, mpate kujua na kuniamini na kufahamu ya kuwa mimi ndiye." Now, what do you hear, Madam Gatwa, as you listen to this verse about being witnesses? You are my witnesses. What comes to your mind?
Yeah, thank you very much, Reverend Lucy. What comes in my mind when we are talking about witnessing, I'm asking myself, what is a witness in the first place? And the witness is somebody who is there when an event is taking place, so that you can be able to give a true account of what has happened. And that is exactly what I understand, that God is calling us to be witnesses. We must experience something, tushuhudie jambo likifanyika, so that we can be able to give an account of what has happened. For example, you could be somewhere and maybe an accident happens, maybe then you are called upon to explain what did you see. So sometimes you might look at it like what I saw was the person who was driving that vehicle that has hit somebody and has run away was wearing this and this. Then you have not gotten the right information, like the number plate of that hit and run car. So the witnesses, the event, that the narration you are going to give will not help much. Like if you say the number plate of this car was this. So I'm called by God to give the true account, something that can stand the test of time. That yes, Jesus Christ died for me, and in life I have encountered this and this, and God has been able to deliver me. God has been able to hold my hand. So when I'm witnessing something like that, and I can be able to help somebody who is going through a challenging situation. That is how I understand, that we witness to Christ through our own life experiences. Yes.
Witnessing through our own life experiences. And you also talked about a true account.
A true account.
Now that reminds me of a funny story, Kenyan story. Kenyans love to be eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
Like we want to tell that we were there.
Yes.
This young man, I don't know whether it was the language that failed him, but there was an accident and he said, "Niliona gari ikitiririka." Anyway, that is a version of a witness.
Yes.
So that was not very helpful. Madam Gitonga, witnessing, and Isaiah 43 verse 10.
Yes. Thank you so much, Reverend Lucy. My sister has said it right. A witness, you cannot just speak of things that you have not seen or things that you've not heard. And when you are witness, it's not necessarily verbal. Your actions, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you do things should also witness what you are saying. It's a proof of what you've seen. So sometimes we may talk just for the sake of talking. but the true confirmation that what we are talking is really what we have seen is the way we do things. Yes, and the way we act. So I believe actions speak louder than words.
Actions speak louder than words. So it's not just about saying,
Yes.
but witnessing should be seen.
Mm.
How we walk and talk
Yes.
should be seen in our integrity. That's profound, Madam Gatua. That is not just about what we say, but about what we do.
Yes, definitely it is.
Yeah.
That I remember there is a verse in the Bible that says that be a letter.
Mm.
You see something that can be read. You know when you are reading a letter, that letter is not speaking.
Yeah.
But you can see a lot of what somebody believes in, just even by looking at them, even by looking at how they relate to one another, because actually when you are witnessing, it has to be holistic. I could even be speaking a lot, but when you look at what I do, it is not tarrying. So I fully agree with my sister that even how you carry yourself, how you do your things, also is a major, actually it is a major witnessing factor than even when you are just speaking. Yes.
And so actually, even in terms of our outputs in our different spheres of influence, we're expected also to be excellent.
Yes.
We're expected to do our best,
Yeah.
because we are also witnessing Christ,
Yes.
even in those areas where we are called to. Christians are not called to mediocrity as well.
Yes.
What would you say? Because you have been on that hot seat where you're a Christian, and has your Christian faith helped you to keep the fire?
Yes, of course, madam. The first thing I want people to know is that I am a principal, but above all, I am a principal who loves and fears God.
Amen.
And whatever I do it for the glory of God. That one has really helped me, even as I do the administration on daily basis. I have seen children come to me and they tell me, Mom, thank you that you have helped me to know Christ. I have seen girls come to me and tell me, Mom, I thank you for encouraging me. So that faith gives me the confidence to wake up every morning and to know I have a duty to serve the Lord, and especially as a Christian woman leading in a Christian school and dealing with young girls whom I'm supposed to mentor, not just in academics, but also in godliness. Yes.
And just briefly, I know maybe in some past episode we may have talked about the school. Just introduce us a bit to what kind of a school is Alliance, because not everyone gets an opportunity to even step in there, whether visiting or going to school.
Okay, Alliance Girls is a faith-based institution. It is sponsored by the Church of Presbyterian Church of East Africa, that is PCEA.
And congratulations for the recent results.
Yes.
It takes a lot of hard work actually to remain there. It takes a lot of effort, hard work, and I know behind the scenes there's a lot of work that goes into making these girls excellent in many ways, in holistic ways.
Yes.
And we've seen that. And people coming from such an institution like Alliance Girls are always proud. We find them introducing themselves that they were, even with their dormitory names and all that. So it's a place of pride, and we thank God for you. Madam Gatua.
Yes.
We want to hear a bit of your story in terms of how God, how Christ, how faith in Jesus Christ has shaped you. How you came to faith, how that shaped your education journey, and finally how that is impacting on your service.
Thank you very much, Leverett. I want to thank God because I was born in a home where my mother really believed in God, and I had the opportunity to be raised up by her as she directed me on the ways of the Lord. I could have been very young even to understand what that was going to have in my life, but as I came to grow knowing God, I saw His hand lift me up from a village where most probably many girls, especially girls, were not excelling so well in education in those years. But because of that faith in God, we were able to put a lot of effort in our education, even from that village. And I saw the hand of God through that journey to high school, all the way to the university. And I really want to thank God because without Him, it wasn't going to be possible. Having that faith and determination and trusting in God, even when you find yourself in a very challenging environment, even those that are viewing us and they find like they cannot make it, with God, there is nothing that is impossible. You only need to trust in God and have that faith in Him and set your goals and set those goals well and remain focused on those very goals. And the first goal you need to set in life is to trust God. Be a prayerful person. Because if you commit all your plans to God, I am very sure, more than 100% sure that those plans are going to succeed. That doesn't mean that you will not encounter challenges. But God is there to fight for you, to fight all those battles for you. And that is why the theme of Women's Guild is saying witnesses. You cannot witness what you have not gone through. You will be seeing the hand of God in every situation, and you will be able to bear witness of what God has done in your life. So God has been with me throughout the education journey, throughout my life. It has not been without challenges, but I am here saying that there is God in heaven who delivers us from all situations. There is nothing that is too hard for God. And let us remain encouraged in the Lord. Even as we preach, even as we observe our Women's Guild Week, as we visit the less fortunate in the society, let us give them hope that the God is there for us. That is much I can say about my journey with Christ.
And talking about your service,
Yes.
you're a woman, a Women's Guild. And I'm sure if some of your colleagues are watching, they're like, we didn't know. We didn't know. So maybe finally they are saying, now we know why. Maybe they are different. We know why. Kumbe they belong to this organization. Kumbe, because of course, you don't go to your offices with your headscarves. No, you don't.
No.
You don't.
Yes.
So talking about service, both in the in the public sector, in education, and as well in the church, you're an elder. How is it possible that you're a woman, you've been strong, you accepted, you said yes? I know there's a letter that's normally sent, and many women would rather say no. What has helped you?
Thank you, Reverend. It's not easy. That is why I said it is not easy. You need God in your life. And when God has called you, you should know that God does not call the perfect, but He perfects the called. And God does not call the equipped, but He equips those that He calls. You only need to release yourself to God. So in my service, when I became a church elder at a very young age, because I have been there for more than now 10 years as a church elder, I was still raising up my kids, but I had a clear voice from God that this is the right time He wants me to serve. I was like, when I retire is when I will have time for God. But I came to realize that God needs us even when we are very active in life. So once I got into the church service, I found myself being given a lot of responsibilities, even becoming the registrar of the church. For many years, I have been doing that work. I also found myself being made the patron of the Women's Guild, and I can tell you it is not easy. But when you pray about it, God gives you the strength. And I can tell you, we have been working, even when I'm in my formal employment, and the ladies are there at home, they are very understanding. We plan for our activities, and they are even able to do that even when I'm not near, because they are empowered. And we all serve God. And we make prayers our first priority and our first occupation. So I can only say that when you release yourself to God, you will be able to serve. And God will give you the strength that you so much require. Yes.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. And I think somebody watching us, that lady out there, that man out there, that young person out there, they are getting encouraged with this. You said that you started serving as an elder when your children were young. And we have many of the young mothers giving excuses and saying that, oh, it's difficult, it's tough. But I remember our mothers, generations, they would take us with them to the service. You are my witnesses. It's not time bound. Doesn't mean when you have young children and all that you cannot be a witness and all that. And we are getting very encouraged. And before we move on, I think it's time to take a short break. We'll be right back to hear more. This is very encouraging. We want to be encouraged. We want to be challenged because this program is about building resilience, courage, and most importantly, hope, even as we continue witnessing Christ in our different callings and spheres of influence. So we take a short break. Please don't go away.
The great people on earth today are the people who pray. Not those who talk about prayer or those who explain about prayer, but those who take time and pray.
God answers prayers. Why? Because He hears. His ear is not deaf, so He hears our prayers.
Men and women who go before God, we should be men and women of godly standards.
Sure.
So we abide. So that we keep tapping from the source.
But as we pray, it is important to tell God that your will be done in this prayer that I'm praying, or about this prayer item that I'm praying about. Not as I will, yes, this is my will, but let your will be done.
In these changing times and seasons of uncertainty, whom do you look up to?
God keeps His part. Calm rain, calm sunshine. God is still committed.
From one generation to another, and it's not like shifting shadows that He will change. But
join Reverend Elizabeth Kimani and Henry Kyra every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. live on CAC TV for Call Unto Me.
2021, He's still the same God and He has not changed.
Inasemekana mtafutaji hachoki.
Hakuna kazi rahisi, kazi zote ni ngumu.
Hakuna kitu mwanamume anafanya hapa sisi tunashindwa kufanya. Hakuna.
Akichoka kesha pata.
We only get limited in the mind. Exactly. Mimi nasema my space, my creation, I become.
Ungana nasi kwenye kipindi cha Kazi na Mali ambapo tunakuhimiza.
Bado safari ipo. Tunang'ang'ana.
Kukuhamasisha.
Jua kali tunatengeneza vitu ambazo zinapatikana katika kila nyumba. Hata nyumba kuu ya Kenya State House utapata mali ya jua kali ziko huko.
Na kukuelimisha kuhusu sekta mbalimbali zinazounda nguzo kuu za uchumi wa nchi kwa jumla.
Kama association tunawahimiza kabisa kila mtu awe na ile card ya insurance ambayo ni ya serikali.
Usikose Kazi na Mali kila siku ya Jumanne saa 1:30 jioni hapa CAC TV.
Welcome back. This is a Rays of Hope, and today we have this special edition because it's Women's Guild Week. And the theme of the week is You Are My Witnesses. And today we are talking about witnessing Christ in service. While we are serving God in our different spheres, God calls us to be witnesses. That's why the theme is You Are My Witnesses. And in studio today, we have Madam Virginia Gitonga from Alliance Girls High School. She is the principal of that wonderful school. We also have on my extreme right, we have Dr. Jane Gatua, also from the education sector. She works in the quality assurance, department of the ministry, and she had a chance to tell us what they do in that department, and we realized there's a lot that actually we didn't know. Before we went for break, we were talking about personal journeys in faith, in education, and even in service. And over to you, Madam Gitonga. Story yako.
Thank you, Lucy. I thank God for the theme of this year, witnessing. My life is a witness itself of the faithfulness of God. I was born in a small village in Chogoria, and I happened to grow in a family that was really, let me say, dysfunctional, because my dad and my mom separated when I was very, very young. And I was left with a stepmother. And we were basically Catholics to begin with. But in 1975, there was a great revival. And the church, the Presbyterian Church, organized door-to-door evangelism, where my dad and my stepmother and my other siblings, we just got involved. And in that evening, I can remember clearly the elders who came to preach to us preached and preached. I got convicted. I was very, very young. But I just remember standing up and saying, today I accept Christ. That was the beginning of my life, Lucy. And I joined the Presbyterian Church together with my family. And I remember when I was in Standard 5, that is when I became a Sunday school teacher.
Standard 5?
Standard 5.
Wow.
I continued being a Sunday school teacher. I went to high school. I joined the youth. And I can give you a long history about how I walked with God until I finished Form 4. Went to high school, still a Christian. I did very well in high school. And I went to the A level at Moi Girls, Nairobi. And while I was in that school, I was exposed. I thank God for the exposure. And then I went to university, and just like any other teenager, I made my mistakes. And I'm talking this for the sake of that girl, that teenager who is watching this program. I fell, but I woke up. I want to tell that girl, that boy who is watching, that person who is watching this program, when you fall, you don't continue lying there on the ground. You wake up, you dust yourself, and you move on. That is what I did. Christ, after that, reinforced me. I came back to his service, and I've been in the service of the Lord for all these years. My ministry, I have a calling. My ministry is the students' ministry. I joined the KSCF, and I've been in KSCF. I serve in my church. One time a youth, the patron of youth in my church because my calling is for the youth and the children. I also support the church. I thank God for the Women Guild because it has helped me to be a better woman, to be a better mother, to be a better wife. And so I want to encourage somebody who is watching there that if you really want to go far, if you really want to succeed in life, take God as your priority. When things become tough, when challenges come, you know who to turn to. You turn to the Lord. He has all solutions. Yeah, and that one has enabled me, even as I serve at Alliance Girls, I know I'm in the service of the Lord. And the words of Titus, in the book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 3 to 5, really encourages me as I serve the girls and as I serve the women out there. The Bible says in that verse, tell or teach the older women to teach the younger children, the younger women. So I'm in the service of serving the younger women and the girls who are looking upon me, the youth in the church who are looking upon me, even the youth, the boys, the young men who look upon me as a mother and a Christian mother for that matter. Thank you.
Wonderful. What a wonderful story of, meeting Jesus. And now witnessing the rest of your life.
Yes.
Witnessing in your career.
Yes.
Witnessing, as you walk the talk. And that's what God is calling us into. And because we are in the larger theme of, consider your ways, God is calling us to reconsider our witnessing. At the same time, remember the theme of the General Assembly is drawn from Haggai 1 verse 5, thinking carefully about our ways, our walk, rethinking about our priorities, rethinking about how we are serving God, how we are representing Christ in what we do. So that's very profound. We're in a season and people are making choices, people are making career choices and all that, Madam Gatua. And just wondering, did you choose to be in the profession you are in? Ulijipata, because some young person out there wonders, am I making the right decision? Who chose for you?
Wow, thank you. That's tricky. I think myself, I am in the right career. Right from the word go, I had wanted to be an educationist. I wanted to be a teacher, per se. But God has lifted me since. I started as a teacher, and I always enjoyed my profession, because reading and exploring the world has always been my desire. And there is nothing else that can make you explore the world than education. Because when you are reading the books, when you are performing tasks in that field, you come to learn a lot. And I can say I was not compelled to be in the profession where I am. In fact, we were brought up in a very liberal family that you could become what you want to become. And I have also carried that one in my life, that my children, they all know that whatever you want to become, my role is to support you and to encourage you, and to guide you. So I want to say that I'm where I am by choice.
Okay, it's by choice.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kujipata too. Madam Gitonga, is this what you always wanted to do, or you came to love it later in life?
Reverend, my story I've told you, it's very interesting.
Yes.
When we were in Form 6, we were given 4 choices to make. And we were supposed to choose the careers we wanted. My choice number 1 was education. 2, education.
Wow.
3, education.
Wow.
And the 4th one, I decided to break it a bit and decided to become, I chose sociology. I didn't know what sociology was. But if I was to go back to school today,
yes,
I would
still
choose education.
Wonderful.
I'm just
Wow.
passionate about it.
It's good to hear that.
Yes.
And it's good to know that as we are witnessing, it's also good to follow our passion. It's good to follow what your heart really wants, so that you can excel in that area. Because we talked about not just witnessing by talking, but by even how you carry yourself. And it can be, the passion can be seen.
Yes.
You are just passionate, the two of you. the way I know you're just passionate. And there's something, Madam Gato, you talked about the education and how important education is.
Yes.
And I think we can never overemphasize that, but we need to take a few minutes and talk about that.
Yes.
Why we need to ensure that every child, and I'm sure these are part of the many goals that we have, whether internationally or even locally, every child needs to be given a chance for education. Why is education so important? What has education done for you? What are the barriers that we need to overcome, especially to allow girls who are a bit disadvantaged in some ways? Madam Gato.
Wow, thank you so much. To me, education, actually, if you ask me to define what is education, I would say education is that imparting of values, knowledge, skills, and attitude.
Say that again.
Education is that process of acquiring knowledge, values, attitude, and skills that will make you suitable in the world in which you live, or the society where you live. Education, sometimes it is taken as a vehicle for you to get employed or something like that, such that when people are talking about unemployment, you find people saying there is no need for education. But education shapes your life. What is it that, how are you going to fit in the society? That is what education does. It is a transformative agent. If you want to transform a society, it is through education. And I wanted to applaud our nation for having embraced the competence-based curriculum, which shapes the person to fit in the 21st century. That you can be able to solve problems, you can be able to think critically, you can be able to be innovative for you to fit not only locally but even internationally, so that you become a globally competitive person. You become engaged, empowered, and ethical person. That is a whole person. And every person's potential is nurtured. And when we talk about every person's potential being nurtured, we are hereby talking about every person, including the boys and girls. But because of the setup maybe of the societies in which we live, we sometimes find that girls are somehow disadvantaged because of one reason or the other. Sometimes it could be because of the retrogressive cultural practices. I call them retrogressive because if you're not embracing education for all the children and maybe you are sidelining one of them because of a culture, then it inhibits that person from accessing education. Therefore, we call it retrogressive. So my call and what I would want to speak about the girl, let us all embrace every child in school and the barriers that keep girls out of school, let us overcome them. For example, there are issues of early pregnancies. You find like now when there was a prolonged school closure because of COVID-19, many girls fell victims and they found themselves like they could not come back to school because maybe they became pregnant and it was hard for them even to leave the young kids back. That one becomes a barrier. Let the society embrace on how to overcome such barriers. Other barriers regarding girls are about early marriages. You find there are those that are put in forced marriages. Those also keep girls away from school. And even our boys, some of them, you find they go to border businesses. Others are going for child labor. Those are the things that we are saying, let us stop them. My campaign right now is that even as women, as we go observe our week, let us look at those girls, children who are out of school. And let us petition the society. Why is our children not in school? So let us have all children in school and learning so that we can be able to transform our society to be fit where the whole world is going. Yeah, that is what I would say.
Oh, and indeed we even want to applaud also the Presbyterian Church because education is one of the main pillars
Yes.
that the church stands on, and that informs mission. Even today, it informs the witnessing. Even today, education is so key, has been, still is, and will continue to be. Madam Gitonga, do you agree that education is a transformative agent?
Yes, I do. 100%. Education gives opportunities. And it doesn't matter whether it is opportunity economically. We also have political opportunities, and especially for women. We have opportunities in the international level. We also have opportunities in business. You have heard of women in business, and they do very well. So education is just transformational. And I agree with my sister. Even there is the former president of South Africa, may God rest his soul in peace, that is Nelson Mandela. We said education is a social equalizer. It is through education that the child of a farmer becomes the president of a great nation. It is through education that the child of a mine worker becomes the owner of the mine. And it is through education that we have seen great women and men rise up. Those opportunities have come even from very poor backgrounds, because we are people who have sponsored these people, these children. We have banks like Equity Bank, the Wings to Fly. We have the Cooperative Bank. We have the KCB Bank. We have individuals who have come forth, and I really appreciate that some of these children would not have made it to the top if there was nobody to hold their hands and walk with them. And as an educationist, I would call upon many others to come forth and sponsor the foundations that are there, continue sponsoring the children from economically challenged background, so that these opportunities do not bypass them. Thinking more about the girl child, as my sister has said, the girl child has been more challenged in the past, but we have seen the trends. The trends are the girls are coming up very strongly. And my prayer is that we shall not forget the boy child, because this girl needs a man in her life. Where will we get men from? If we have neglected the boy child has gone into labor to look for money at a very early age. This boy child has gone into drinking and into drugs. Let us also think about the boy child, so that we have a balanced society. We have a balanced community. I'm talking as a mother, because I have a son, and this son will look for a wife. Where will he get a wife from? No educated woman would want to go to somebody who is drinking, somebody who cannot provide for the family. So my prayer is that as we support the girl child, we also support the boy child, and so that the education that we give them will transform all of them, the both sexes, and we shall have a better society. Yes.
Wonderful. Education as an equalizer, education as an opening for opportunities,
yes.
Education as the best transformative agent or agency that we have today. And thank you for the call to people to continue sponsoring, because not all families are able to provide or to give these opportunities to their children, and we have all these organizations doing it. We also want to celebrate the Women's Guild for the good work they are doing. Amidst very many, I mean, there are so many people who are sponsoring, many parishes, presbyteries, at least in the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, but the Women's Guild specifically, they are sponsoring very, very many children, and that is done through the collective work of the giving of the women, and with the least coin and all these contributions that women give, they are making a big difference. Keep doing it, because you are transforming lives, and we thank God for this.
Reverend Lucy,
Please.
I know of a case where the Women Guild came together. They have been sponsoring some children, and I know one particular child who was sponsored from high school, went to college. Today, as we talk, this girl is earning and serving God and serving this nation in one of the biggest ministries in this country.
Wow.
Yes, in the judiciary.
In the judiciary.
In the judiciary. That's a testimony I have.
Testimony that you have.
Amen.
So I can really talk of the goodness of the Lord through what Women Guild have done.
And of course the transformation that happens even with the girls that come to you. Some girls coming from far away, places, coming without a change of clothes, coming without even a uniform.
Yes.
But they are coming into the gates of Alliance High School.
Yes.
What transformation do you see happen to these girls?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
We have seen children come to school in slippers. You look at their box and you see nothing. They open because we have to check what you have and we'll register you.
Yes.
If you are needy, we just write down. So that we have a social welfare led by one of the senior teachers. And they support such children, give them the necessary basic, whatever basics they need. But we also have the former students, the old girls, the alumni. They also have an association whereby they support those children who come without anything. And we have also seen cases where a child comes with a paper bag. Just a paper bag. A paper bag, Lucy. And you just sympathize. But when they come in, they are held. Their hands are held by either the old girls, either foundation, the teachers. Sometimes teachers also contribute. Members of the board and the PTAs, the parents. Some parents are so good. They sponsor their own child and another one.
Wow.
And some of these children who come, by the end of the 4 years, they live as ladies with their A's.
Wow.
A, standing.
Wow. Wow.
Because somebody somewhere decided to sponsor them. And you see not just the academic excellence, you also see the values they have attained at Alliance Girls. You look at them and the way they are talking, you see they have changed. Some of them come without actually speaking. They are even afraid to speak because they have come from deep from the village. And they are scared of talking lest other people laugh at them. But after 4 years, when you listen to them speak, the English bypasses even that which we who have been there. And then as they live, they are so confident. They have values, godliness, integrity, service, community service, because we also expose them to that. They visit the old people's homes. They visit the children's home. They do community service, and they visit prisons, and some of these things add value to them. And so we get ladies of integrity. Somebody comes shy but leaves very confident. Somebody comes so small but leaves a big woman, and knowing what they want in life. This is what I call transformation.
That is
the acquisition of values my sister talked about. The godliness. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And then the excellence in academics. Giving them an opportunity to go out there in the world and compete and fit in their careers, fit in their professions, and make a difference in their community where they came from.
Wow.
Yes.
That is very, very encouraging. And that's why we need to do this more and more and more. And that's why we need to feel very concerned. If there are children that we pass by or in our communities who don't have an opportunity to go to school, to acquire those skills, to acquire the values, you know, to have a focus in life, it should really bother us, and we need to do something about it. Now, as we begin to wind up, Madam Gatwa, who is your role model in the Women's Guild in half a minute?
Thank you so much. I want to say that I am happy that I have had role models in my life that I emulate. And I want to mention here that one Honorable Beth Mogo has inspired me a lot in life.
Wow.
I started looking at her even when I was a young girl, and I always admired the passion she has in education and the passion she has in the work of God. I also want to mention one Mrs. Eunice Kariuki. Now she's late, the wife to Reverend Kariuki, and I wanted to applaud her for the values that she imparted in my life. And the current one is Elizabeth Mwangi from Nikoroi PCA Church. She has been always a mother to me.
Wow.
She has always cared to know how I'm progressing spiritually, and I really want to thank her for having mentored me to be the woman I am today.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so we greet all those women, and for the one who has gone ahead to be with the Lord, may she continue resting in peace. Who is your role model? Who helped you to join the Women's Guild? Yeah.
The one who encouraged me was my mother-in-law, Eunice Wanja Babu. She kept on telling me, Mama Kathomi, when will you join the Women's Guild? I kept on telling her, Mama, my service is to the girls, but my calling is to the students.
Yes.
But when she continued, I realized it's a good thing. I joined the Women's Guild. I was supported by the chairlady of my church. She's called Kageni, and she was also the chairlady of the Women's Guild in my church. In my profession, I have a role model, Professor Olive Mugenda.
Wow.
Yes.
I've always loved that woman.
Yeah.
And she's very down to earth, very humble, and very focused. I keep on saying, whatever she touches, it's like it prospers. So I've always admired Olive Mugenda. The other one is the CS Ministry of Public Service and Gender. That is Margaret Kobia. You'd never hear her making noise, but our work speaks for her. I really look upon them. When I see those women at the top there doing very good work, I desire that I may do as they have done in life, impacting on community without looking for payment, without looking, wondering who will pay me, but they are just committed to their work, transforming lives. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I know it's just that, you know, I'm the host, so I cannot interview myself. But just for the records, I am a member of the Women's Guild. Just for the records, I joined the Women's Guild, the Girls Guild, in my earliest 20s. And I'm a member of the Women's Guild, and the one who encouraged me, the one whom I loved so much, first of all my mother, but more so my grandmother, Lucy Mwenyewe. And she's resting with the Lord, but she really made me, you know, love the Women's Guild and all that. So let's keep going. Thank you very, very much. Time does not allow us to continue, but I think we'd love to have you more times to come and give this wonderful insight. Thank you for making time out of your very, very busy schedules to come and share in this Women's Guild, week, and to share these wonderful insights. Keep on doing what you're doing. We admire you. We admire you actually, and even from the department also, you are my models in many ways, very, very many ways. So thank you, dear viewer. That brings us to the end of our program today, Rays of Hope, Women's Guild Special Edition, witnessing Christ in our service. And we believe that you've learned something. So keep doing what you're doing. Let's sponsor children. Let's encourage children to, to be educated. Let's give opportunities, because that way their lives will be transformed. And continue witnessing for Christ wherever you are, in words and in deeds.
Amen.
Take care. Do not give up. Don't lose hope. Our hope is founded on Jesus Christ himself. So keep going, remain hopeful, and God bless you.